Australian Border Force officers are searching the luggage of this Malaysian passenger who has arrived on a tourist visa and says he is here for a 7-day holiday. But when questioned, he is very vague about his travel plans.
What sights do you want to see while you're here? Any famous things you want to see while you're in Australia?
Australia.
No. Like, where do you want to visit in Australia? What are you going to see?
In the new town.
Newtown.
Suspecting the man may be here for more than a holiday, a swab is taken from his personal belongings to check for any traces of illegal substances, while officers have a frustrating time trying to find out the basic details of his trip.
You don't know any buildings in particular you want to see?
The building. Somewhere I forgot already.
Officers are not convinced this man is here as a tourist, and the swab result raises their suspicions even further. A woman arriving off a flight from Malaysia has been stopped because of her unusual travel itinerary.
We noted that there are a few anomalies just in her passenger card, so we pulled her aside to establish what she was doing essentially in Australia.
The woman says she's been on a round-the-world trip, but her passenger card states that she is only in Sydney for 1 day before flying home to Chile, and when questioned, she is unwilling to provide any detail.
Just you? Just one person? When you're
Yeah,
on
one person.
Okay. So
Alone.
you went to
No,
Malaysia?
speak more, please.
Look, I'm just trying to see what you were doing.
Oh, mentira, César, me estoy hablando de jodear. Me estoy hablando de
What was in
jodear.
your bag?
Okay. The Polish International and the question is no problem. Aquí, you look in my bag and have to go. Please.
What I'm trying to establish is what's inside your bags, okay? This is the only reason why I'm asking.
Her refusal to answer his questions makes Officer Justin suspect this woman may have something to hide. So all of her luggage will now be thoroughly searched.
The only reason why
Yeah,
I'm going to look in that bag is because I need to establish why you're agitated, okay?
Oh, quiero llorar.
Is there any reason why you were so agitated?
I no speak more. No
You wanna speak?
No, no one speak.
Thousands of passengers pass through our international airports every day, and it only takes one false declaration for a major biosecurity risk to enter and potentially decimate our primary industries.
What are you declaring today?
This one inside is seized.
It's really important you declare, honey.
If we can't identify it, we can't allow it in.
Biosecurity officers must remain vigilant in detecting these undeclared items. Today, in Sydney, they have concerns about a suitcase belonging to this woman who says she is returning to Australia to study.
This lady's coming in from Vietnam. She's a non-declarant, and in her suitcase we can see organic material of some sort. Not quite sure what it is.
Okay, and that one there.
Yeah, both of those. Can you check that, please?
Sure.
There are 2 suspect items on the X-ray, and as the search begins, a high-risk food is immediately located.
We've just opened this passenger's bag and I found some meat, some pork. It's home cooked, so it's not permitted to come into the country.
The shredded pork is not commercially packaged, so it could harbour bacteria or disease, and Officer Andrea wants to know one thing.
Why you didn't declare it?
Like maybe I just want to, like if I like this and I take things, it's go like easier or something.
So you didn't declare it because you thought it was easier for you
Yeah.
to pass. But do you understand that this is a legal document? Can you read that for me? What does it say there?
Make sure that this is the truth and like complete and understand.
So she could read the questions and she verbally told me that she thought if she didn't declare she could go. So not the case today for her, unfortunately.
Deliberately not declaring a prohibited import could land this passenger in serious trouble. But it's what Officer Andrea discovers next which could damage our billion-dollar agricultural industries. This Malaysian passenger claims he is here for a holiday, but unlike most tourists, he has no travel plans. Now, a swab test from some of his belongings has just returned a positive result for an illicit substance. Methamphetamine is a key ingredient used in the manufacture of drugs such as ice. So officers have a few more questions for the passenger.
Do you take drugs? Drugs. Do you ever take drugs?
You mean alcohol?
You smoke anything?
No?
Okay. We took a swab of your bag
Yeah.
and it came back positive for methamphetamine. Do you know what meth is?
Maybe.
A second swab is taken to confirm the result as Border Force officers continue their investigation.
Before you came here, did you swallow anything? No?
The second swab is negative, and an X-ray of his luggage fails to find any concealments. Officers are now satisfied the man is not smuggling narcotics. However, they have found new information which suggests he may be hiding the real reason for his visit. He will now be questioned by officers from the immigration team. Australian Border Force officers have serious concerns about what it is that this Malaysian man plans to do while in Australia. He will now be taken to a private interview room.
We've gotten a referral from back of hall. They were doing a bag search on this Malaysian gentleman, and it looks like he was very unaware of what he's in Australia to do. He said he's here for 7 days to go to Newtown, to go to a backpackers. He hasn't been able to provide anything about details about where or any onshore contacts. We believe from some information we've received that he might be here to try to find work.
Officer Laura will formally interview the passenger and give him the opportunity to tell his story.
I'm now going to ask you questions about your trip to Australia. Do you have a return ticket?
Return ticket?
Yep. And how long are you planning to stay in Australia?
告诉他说这是我第一次
Because this is
来
my
澳洲
first time here, and because I am not familiar with Australia, I don't know whether there are many tourist spots, so I didn't book a return ticket.
Do you know anyone in Australia?
No, actually.
What kind of work do you do?
Selling food.
The man says he has worked for his family fruit business for over 10 years.
So, are you intending to work in Australia?
It means now. It means now.
No.
Oh, now actually I know because I am working in Malaysia, so how I working to here?
It's not the question about how.
Malaysia, I have a good pay and good job.
All right, I'm going to go and do some checking. I'll come back in a minute, all right?
The passenger insists he is not here to work, but officers have translated messages from his mobile phone.
So that's basically the start of it.
And what they've found may be enough to stop him from entering the country.
What does it say there?
An inspection of this non-declarant passenger's suitcase has revealed she is carrying shredded pork. But it's not the only prohibited food item she's brought with her.
I've just found all these lychees as well, which are not permitted also.
Lychees are a tropical fruit widely grown and consumed throughout Asia. Often eaten fresh, these ones are dried. While they look innocent, they could potentially harbour serious biosecurity threats.
They're not processed, they're still whole, and it looks like one of them's actually diseased as well.
Concerned that some of the fruit is contaminated, Officer Jeanette is called over to take a closer look.
It's the skin and the seed that can potentially carry exotic pest and disease.
The fruit could be infested with any number of pests not found in Australia.
Coming out of Vietnam, potentially it could harbour something called capra beetle. It's a particularly nasty stored product pest we don't want introduced to Australia.
And there's a sure sign this fruit is diseased.
That white sort of frosty looking area, That's actually some mould that's sprouted. The commodity is not commercially packaged, and that could have just been sun-dried and exposed to all weathers and elements, which means that it increases that opportunity for it to be harbouring pests.
Passenger doesn't seem too bothered by the situation.
I love Vietnamese food, so that's why I put in my luggage. Because like maybe before they didn't check, and now they check this, that's why.
But she may not be laughing if she is issued with the maximum fine.
Because she hasn't declared and the amount that she's carrying, I don't think it's justifiable not to serve her with an infringement.
Australian Border Force officers are dealing with a grumpy passenger who says she has come to Sydney for one day on her way home to Chile.
I no speak more. No
want to speak?
No one speak.
She is refusing to answer questions, and Officer Justin is trying to work out why the woman is so agitated by a routine bag search.
When we encounter someone who's quite aggressive in situations, we'd suggest that they might be doing something that they shouldn't be. What is inside this bag? What do you have in here?
Here?
Yeah.
Is the close the.
Yep.
Yeah, this.
Okay, I'll look inside.
No.
I'll look inside.
Look.
All right.
Así, ropa sucia.
It's all right. I will make an assessment of this myself, okay?
Jackets.
But it's not just clothing in her backpack. A heavily wrapped package is located, which the passenger claims is a Buddhist statue.
What we found essentially is just what is like a Buddha ornament.
But when the package is x-rayed, the passenger is suddenly lost for words and her mood takes a dramatic turn. This passenger from Vietnam has admitted that she didn't declare her home-cooked meat and lychees in order to fast-track her exit from the airport. But both these items pose a huge biosecurity risk.
So you understand why it's so important that you need to declare things like this before you bring them into the country as well?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, next time you won't be doing it, will you?
No, I never bring it. That's really okay.
A sample of the contaminated lychees will be sent for further testing to identify exactly what pests and diseases may be present. And while the passenger says it won't happen again, she will not be avoiding a penalty.
You've travelled to Australia before? Yeah? How many times have you been to Australia?
It's the second time.
The second time. All right. So what's going to happen today is, because you brought these items in that are not permitted, you're going to be issued with a $360 fine. Okay?
Is there any like...
Sorry?
Can you have any like lower?
No, that's the fine. It's $360 today. Okay, so I'm just going to go get some paperwork.
The home-cooked pork and the remaining lychees will be destroyed, and the passenger agrees to pay the $360 fine.
She knew she was taking a risk today, so it failed miserably for her today. Hopefully next time she'll learn her lesson.
This Malaysian man has arrived on a tourist visa and insists he is simply here for a holiday. But Australian Border Force officers have information which indicates the real reason he is here.
He stated that he doesn't know anyone in Australia, but there is evidence that he does know someone in Australia, and that person is offering him work.
Text messages translated from the man's mobile phone indicate he has been communicating regularly with an onshore contact named Randall.
He said there's jobs that's actually on construction, chicken factory, restaurant.
Oh, he's got a choice. Good.
Oh, yeah. Randall was basically guaranteeing him jobs here.
Officer Laura confronts the passenger with the new information.
Okay, Mr. Toe, I want to ask you, who's Randall? Did you have a friend named Randall who was in Australia?
一个我在马来西亚。
I knew this person back in Malaysia.
Where's Randall at the moment?
Oh, 现在 now maybe in Australia.
So how come before you said that you didn't know anyone in Australia?
因为我的意思是说，在澳洲。
I didn't know any Australian.
Okay, well that's not the question I asked you. Okay, is he looking for work for you or has he offered you work?
之前是有，
He did.
他是有问过我要
He
要
asked
在这
me
边
whether I wanted to work here, but I didn't say yes to him because I have work back in Malaysia.
You understand that I already have the information. I know that you're looking for work. You understand that? So do you want to stop lying now?
Australian Border Force officers have located a package in the backpack of a South American traveller who claims it is a Buddha statue. But as it's taken to be x-rayed, she has suddenly become distraught. Surprised by her reaction, Officer Justin will now check the item for concealments.
What we're seeing on the X-ray image, a lot of plastic-based material there. Yeah, it looks fairly consistent all throughout. I wouldn't say that there are any anomalies that I can see there, so I think that that's okay.
The statue gets the all clear, but there are lingering concerns about the emotional passenger.
I have to go. It's sleeping. No
Okay,
more
but-
this.
Why are you feeling like this? All we are doing is looking in your bag. Why are you upset like this?
No, it's the sleeping. It's
The sleeping.
Yeah, I'm asleep. Yeah, make it.
Due to her erratic behaviour, officers will make one final check.
We're going to do an ion scan. Okay.
Scan?
A scan of your bag.
Okay.
Looks for traces of drugs or explosives.
No.
You have not come into contact with any of those things.
No, nothing.
Okay. Why are you crying
Yeah,
today?
but I want to go. I am one day in Sydney, and I want this my friends know here.
This is something we do all the time. Okay.
Okay.
We search, but you start to cry.
To cry. I'm sensible. I sensible. I have to go.
Okay.
This is motive that my cry. I am one person sensible.
In the examination room, the swab test from the woman's backpack checks for traces of any illicit substances.
So we've received a negative result for the ion scan today, which essentially allays our suspicions that there might be anything inside her passenger baggage.
The woman is now free to enjoy her day in Sydney.
You understand that I already have the information. I know that you're looking for work. You understand that?
Australian Border Force officers have found numerous messages on this man's mobile phone, indicating that he has come here to work illegally.
It's very clear from the information that I have that you have been actively looking for work, asking questions about the kind of work in Australia and how much the pay is, all of that. So what do you want to tell me about that?
我是要看看
I
这边
want
的
to
情
come
况
to
是
have a
怎样
look. I'm not here to find a job.
His messages tell me different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Despite his denials, the passenger, Mr. Toe, is issued with a notice of intention to consider cancelling his visa, and he is given a final chance to offer a plausible explanation.
Do you have any reasons why I shouldn't cancel your visa?
直接回马来西亚吗？
If the visa is cancelled, I will go back to Malaysia directly.
Yes, that's true.
这样就取消，直接取消。
Then you can cancel my visa.
With no return ticket, no travel plans, and the overwhelming evidence that he intends to work illegally, Mr. Toe has made the decision for them.
As you no longer have a valid visa to enter Australia, I'm detaining you under Section 189 of the Migration Act.
He will now be returned to Malaysia on the next available flight. Australia is a nation surrounded by oceans, and this vast maritime domain is one of our most precious natural resources. But as fish stocks are highly sought after around the globe, there is a greater need to defend our borders from foreign poachers.
Looks like there's 3 people on board.
Australia's Maritime Border Command within the Australian Border Force patrol 24/7 on the ground and the air to protect this national commodity.
Can we come aboard?
And monitoring of these assets is conducted from here, the MBC Operations Centre in Canberra. Today, a potential maritime threat has been spotted in Australia's northern waters.
So one of our aircraft that's conducting aerial surveillance on the east coast of Australia has just located what they believe is a suspected Vietnamese foreign fishing vessel inside Australian waters.
The suspected illegal fishing boat is in the highly protected area near the Great Barrier Reef. Border Force patrol boat Cape Wessel is dispatched from Cairns, tasked with the job of locating and intercepting it, led by Commanding Officer Charlie.
All right, well, as you all know, we're on the way to this Vietnamese boat. When we get on scene, I'd like to do the boarding as soon as we possibly can. It's my understanding that their MO generally is to fish at night and to rest up during the day, so hopefully we can get them a little bit unawares.
Charlie, 10 miles to run.
10 miles to run. Let's have 20 knots, please, mate. The aircraft had transmitted to us that the vessel didn't have any radar, so I knew that once we were in 10 miles, the element of surprise was gone. I ramped the speed up and I tried to get as close to them as quickly as possible so that element of surprise could be utilised.
Officers from the Australian Fisheries Management Authority, or AFMA, will inspect the catch on the fishing boat and determine if any offence has been committed. And everyone is on high alert as cameras on the ship's mast finally bring the vessel into view.
Yep, got him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
7.15 nautical miles from our position now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people counted so far.
The boarding crew prepares for launch, and as the Border Force patrol boat moves closer, the fishermen see them approaching and begin to throw their catch overboard.
They're throwing them out, overboard, whatever was in there. Gone, all of it, gone.
Biosecurity detector dogs are trained to quickly assess large groups of passengers using their exceptional sense of smell.
I'll just get you to stand nice and still, okay?
The dogs are trained to sit when they detect that someone may be carrying a restricted item.
Woody, the canine detector dog, has alerted to the passenger's back pocket. Just go back around to the bench for me, please, sir. Just come this way.
Officers must now investigate this passenger to find out what he has brought from India into Melbourne today.
Okay, and these are your bags?
Yeah.
And you packed the bags?
Yeah.
You know what's inside the bags?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have anything to declare listed here?
No.
Officer Simon understands there may be a cultural reason why the traveller attracted the detector dog's attention.
So do you have any flowers on you? Has anyone given you flowers as a souvenir or a going away present?
No.
Okay, so what I'll get you to do is just come here and just pull out your inside of your pockets for me. Okay. Okay. So see this? Parts of plants. Okay. You knew that you had that in your back pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, so why didn't you tick yes to question 7?
It's a tradition to give a flower as a parting gift to travellers. It may be tiny, but can still have a disastrous effect on Australia's environment.
This could bring pests and diseases into the country that we don't have, okay? So it's really important that you tick yes and declare, no, not now, but In future, when you come into Australia, that's what you need to do.
Officers now proceed with a full bag search and soon make a worrying find which suggests the passenger is hiding a lot more.
What's in here?
I don't know.
I asked you if you knew what the contents of the bags were and you said yes.
Australian Border Force officers at the Sydney International Mail Centre are examining parcels to prevent illicit items from being smuggled into the country.
Let's take a look at this one coming up now, Josh.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
A large parcel from China, listed as containing marker pens, has attracted their attention.
You can see the pens, but they're quite dark in the middle.
Looks like an anomaly along here. It doesn't look consistent the way a marker pen would look. In a pen, it should be consistent because it's just filled with ink, right? But you can see that it's a bit cracked there. So it's like it's got something else in there that's sort of shifted while the parcel's been moved around.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't have that line.
You can see it's in a few of them as well.
Officers will now have the box opened by Australia Post so they can check if anything illegal is hidden inside the pens.
Yeah, that's highly suspicious. It definitely looks like a concealment.
ABF cutter patrol boat Cape Wessel has tracked down a vessel which they suspect is fishing illegally in waters near the Great Barrier Reef. And as they approach, the crew have begun ditching their catch overboard.
Throwing them out, overboard, gone. All of it, gone.
This is usually a pretty good indication to us that they're onto us, that they know we're coming. But if we're capturing that footage on the camera, we can use that to support our case.
This is Australian Border Force Cape Wessel. We intend to board your vessel. Stop your vessel now.
Yeah, they slowed down. They haven't stopped yet though.
Depleted fish stocks in Asia due to overfishing and demand for higher value species prompts illegal fishers to enter Australia's northern waters. Australia's fisheries are among the best managed in the world and are a target for poachers. The boarding crew must be prepared for anything as they head over to inspect the catch.
When the boarding officer initially embarks the target vessel, his primary concern is to make the vessel safe for the rest of the boarding party to embark. This means he will muster the crew in the forward part of the boat, and this allows the rest of the boarding party to embark and begin to make safe the vessel.
13 fishermen are located below deck, while an AFMA fisheries officer begins to inspect the many barrels on board. And it looks like he has found a huge haul of illegal catch. Biosecurity officers in Melbourne have concerns about what this passenger is carrying in his luggage.
Just gonna seal it up.
Commercially packaged snacks found in his bags raise officers' suspicions because they appear to have been opened and then resealed.
So you bought these from a shop?
I don't, sir, because my bro, my friends gifted. I don't, sir.
Oh, so you don't actually know what's inside?
I don't, sir.
They've given it to you?
Yeah.
The man now contradicts his earlier statement by claiming he doesn't know what is in his bag.
So your friend gave it to you to pack, yeah?
I don't pack it. But
you didn't pack, so you don't know what's inside. We're going to open it up.
Okay,
but I asked you what was inside your bag. I said, did you pack your bags? You said yes. And I said, you're aware of the contents of the bags? And you said yes. Sir, I'm speaking to you. I asked you if you knew what the contents of the bags were, and you said yes.
Got 2 packages here being resealed, right? You should know what's inside.
Each packet contains a concealed plastic bag, and as Officer Stephen checks the contents, the passenger becomes increasingly nervous. At the Sydney International Mail Centre, Australian Border Force officers are concerned that this box sent from China might contain something illegal.
Okay, there's definitely pens there. They look commercially packed and sealed from the outside. No glue present. They look normal. I think maybe we should take a couple of these out and x-ray them on the small x-ray.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd maybe take one of each colour.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Officers now x-ray the selected pens for a detailed look at their contents.
See what it shows when we x-ray them individually.
It could be ink, but I think the cracking here suggests that it's probably not, and also the inconsistencies with the fills.
You can also see a green tinge through it, and although ink may have a green tinge when it's commercially done, definitely that's the indications of a chemical substance.
I'd suggest that whatever's in this one is also in this one and this one.
Yeah.
It appears to be a sophisticated concealment, so the markers will now be deconstructed to reveal what is hidden inside.
I think perhaps I might be able to screw off the top.
Yeah, okay.
That could be perhaps how they do it. Yep, there you go, it's screwing off. I've just got some tools to try and pop the top off of it. There we go, pops off, and inside, there we go. Yeah, we can see a white substance.
Australian Border Force and AFMA fisheries officers have successfully boarded this foreign fishing boat located near the Great Barrier Reef, and the entire operation has been closely monitored by officers at the Australian Maritime Border Operations Centre in Canberra.
So the boarding team from Cape Wessel has in fact boarded this vessel. We've established it is Vietnamese in origin. There's 13 illegal foreign fishermen on board. When the vessel arrived, there was divers in the water, including compressors going, which shows that they have in fact been taking illegal catch from our waters.
Inspection of the many barrels on board reveals the men were diving for sea cucumbers, or bêche de mer. Considered to be a luxury seafood in Asia, there is a constant demand for these, especially from China.
Quite a high value treepang. You can see how it's been split. They're all split and then salted and put into brine for their trip home. Once they get home, they'll be dried and processed further, and then they'll be ready to be sold.
Depending on the species, a sea cucumber can fetch up to $500 a kilo, and these huge returns mean that foreign fishermen will go to any lengths to obtain them.
The rewards for these people are huge, so you can understand why they might be tempted to come to Australian waters and take our fish.
But with high returns comes high risk, and these 13 illegal fishermen may now be facing hefty penalties and the confiscation and deconstruction of their vessel.
1916.
Biosecurity officers in Melbourne have found plastic bags concealed in what appeared to be commercially packaged snacks in this passenger's luggage.
So it doesn't match what you got in the package. You tell us it's snacks, it's not snacks in both packaging. The packaging is totally different, and they've both been resealed, as you see. In both cases, both packaging been resealed.
Officer Stephen discovers the bags are filled with a quantity of unidentified plant material.
Do you know, what is it? What is the plant?
Tobacco.
Tobacco?
Tobacco.
So this is tobacco?
135 tobacco.
You knew what it was when I asked you. You said it's tobacco. So to me, you knew what's inside your bag. You knew what's inside the packaging. Yes or no?
No, sir, I know.
But you knew it was tobacco. You identified it straight away as tobacco.
Yeah.
So you knew what it was.
Officer Stephen discovers the bags are filled with a quantity of unidentified plant material.
That could have multiple plant diseases on it, or it could also have other insects that we don't have.
Loose leaf tobacco is a restricted item and a danger to biosecurity.
This is my friend.
Your friend asked you?
My friend asked you. Ask me.
So you took that gamble. You said, I'll bring it in.
Yeah.
Why? No, but you could be caught and you could be fined. Why would you do it?
Sorry.
He may be sorry, but what he doesn't know is that making a false declaration over such a large quantity of tobacco can lead to serious penalties. Australian Border Force and AFMA fisheries officers have identified barrels full of catch on board this Vietnamese fishing vessel. It's been illegally taken from Australian waters near the Great Barrier Reef, and it includes many sea cucumber species. Estimating there is a massive 3 tons of illegal catch on board, it would have been a highly lucrative journey. But these foreign fishermen won't be making any money from this trip.
Once we determined how much catch was on board, given that the catch had come out of the sea only a few days before and was stowed in salt, there was no threat to the environment. So we were directed by AFMA, the Australian Fish Management Authority in Canberra, to dispose of the catch. This we did by returning it to the sea.
The 3 tons of catch is disposed of, but the journey is just beginning for the 13 illegal fishers. They are detained and transferred to Cape Wessel, where they will remain in a holding area until they reach Cairns to face prosecution under Australian law.
Australia has those strong fisheries laws, but you can't have a strong conservation regime without a strong compliance regime. We're very keen to see Australian fisheries protected and sustainable into the future, and with a strong compliance regime, we can all have that.
There you go.
Yeah, we can see a white substance.
Highly suspicious.
Australian Border Force officers are concerned by a substance they found inside a marker pen, which is part of a large shipment.
Looks like crystals, maybe fine crystals.
Perhaps, yeah, I'll tip a bit out and we can test that with Nick test and that'll confirm it. There we go.
If the Nick test is positive for an illicit substance, then it will change colour.
And we should see a really nice blue colour come up at the end of this. It'll be indicative of methamphetamine. And there we go, straight away, really dark blue. So that's a really good indicator.
Yeah, it looks like methamphetamine to me.
Yeah.
The marker pens are weighed to confirm how much of the deadly methamphetamine ice has been intercepted.
So it looks like 10 to 15 grams per marker.
Looks like quite a sizable concealment.
The parcel will now be handed over to the Australian Federal Police. Biosecurity officers have alerted Border Force, who must now confront this passenger about his attempt to smuggle tobacco into Australia.
This is a clear concealment, okay? You've tried to attempt to bring something in that's concealed. It's important that you understand that making a false declaration has serious consequences behind it.
Passengers must declare tobacco imports and pay the relevant duty. However, this passenger's tobacco is in loose form and therefore poses a serious biosecurity risk, meaning it cannot enter the country. He will instead be the recipient of a fine.
You will be getting an infringement notice of $420. You are giving a chance of $420, yes.
The tobacco will be confiscated and destroyed.
I want you to put this into the bin. Okay. Right, and then you know it's been disposed of, okay? Thank you.
Okay, so if you can come with me, you can pay your infringement notice.
Just follow the officer to the duty collector to pay the fine, yeah? I hope it's a good lesson to him educationally, and you know next time not to bring anything from any friends or any family members unless he knows what it is, and to declare it on the card.
So just straight through there.
The Cape Wessel crew have successfully detained 13 Vietnamese fishermen after AFMA fisheries officers found 3 tons of illegal catch on board their fishing boat, which has been detained and is being towed from near the Great Barrier Reef back to Cairns.
So what we're now going to do is secure that vessel for the purpose of bringing that into an Australian port and handing that to AFMA for prosecution.
Once they reach port, the fishermen will spend 6 weeks in a Darwin detention facility, along with men from 2 other illegal fishing boats also caught in Australia's northern waters. Following a court appearance, some of them will be returned home.
The 34 fishermen that are departing today have all appeared in the courts in Darwin. Their matters have all been finalised and they're being flown back to Vietnam today.
These 34 men are relieved to be going home, as the others are not so lucky.
Some of the people have been imprisoned because they had suspended sentences, because it was not their first time that they'd been picked up for illegal foreign fishing.
Australian Border Force officers in Sydney have taken aside an Estonian woman arriving off a flight from London. She says she is here for a 16-day holiday, but a number of her travel details stand out as being a little unusual.
First time to Australia, recent ticket, recent visa, so pretty much last minute. Not travelling with anyone today. The baggage officer noticed that she's a bit nervous.
One of the 2 suitcases she is carrying is full of clothing and personal items for her to stay, but it's the second case that raises officers' suspicions. It only contains 2 brand new backpacks and an empty laptop bag, and the woman immediately claims the case is not hers.
She kept telling the baggage officer that the backpacks and the contents that's inside the suitcase doesn't belong to her, she's carrying it for a friend.
Carrying luggage for someone else is a red flag for officers, and the backpacks are taken to a secure examination room where a swab test will determine if any further investigation is required.
So the first backpack has cocaine reading.
It's a strong reading, and the second backpack will now be swab tested. While back at the bench, officers notice the passenger is looking increasingly nervous.
Are you sure you don't want a chair?
She felt like she wanted to faint, so the officer assisted her with bringing out a chair so she can sit down.
She is not behaving like a regular tourist, and as the second backpack is swab tested, officers strongly suspect that the passenger may be carrying narcotics.
Second reading of cocaine.
Border Force has stopped a Korean man returning to Australia on a tourist visa as he only just recently left the country.
He's already spent 3 months onshore, which we consider to be a reasonable amount of time, especially as a tourist, you know, to visit family and friends, that kind of thing. So we basically want to know why he's back here.
Officer Alicia now begins a formal interview with the help of a translator.
Okay, so why have you come to Australia?
여행으로 이모가
I just got the divorce. I need to have some break to go away somewhere, so that's why I came to Australia.
In order to be considered a genuine tourist, passengers must have sufficient funds for their trip, and Officer Alicia is now concerned by his cash supply.
I've noticed that you came in with $335. Do you have money in your bank account?
돈이 없어요.
No.
So you have no savings at all in your bank account?
No.
So when was the last time that you were employed in Korea?
12월 달까지 12월이 마지막이라고
Around December.
That seems to be some time since you've been actively employed. How do you support yourself then?
그냥 말 그대로 그냥 노가다 아시죠?
I got loan from the bank.
So how are you going to expect to pay back this loan if you're not actively working?
하려고 지금 준비 중입니다.
When I go back to Korea, I am trying to open the shop.
With no current employment in Korea and minimal money available to him, it now seems possible that the man has been working during his recent 3 months living in Australia.
So I'm going to ask you straight out and you need to be telling me the truth. The last time you were here in Australia for 3 months, did you work here in Australia?
일 저 안 했습니다, 저.
No, I didn't work. I didn't work.
And you're definitely telling me the truth?
예, 예.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
With serious concerns that this man has been working illegally, officers will now phone one of his contacts to confirm his story. At the International Mail Centre in Sydney, biosecurity officers are scanning parcels in order to intercept anything that could pose a threat to Australia's fragile native environment.
Check this one out. Yeah. It's in a big packaging, the next parcel.
Suspicions have been raised by an oddly shaped package from Japan, and there's more than one of them.
Check the next one, Carmen, looks interesting.
Okay.
And the box after it is coming from the same person, and it's leaking with probably water.
Yeah.
And it's a big blob of mass.
Yeah.
It is definitely a mass of animal origin, probably of a high moisture content, just because of the density of the orange. So it would have either meat material or high in moisture.
Okay.
Officers are now highly concerned because most animal products are breeding grounds for dangerous infectious diseases.
That would probably pose a lot of biosecurity risk in terms of diseases such as anthrax, FMD, or bovine John's disease.
In Sydney, Australian Border Force officers have serious concerns that this Estonian woman may be carrying narcotics into the country after 2 backpacks located in one of her suitcases returned strong positive results for traces of an illicit substance.
Bingo, 2 positive for cocaine with very high reading.
The backpacks will now be closely examined to check for any concealments as Supervising Officer Brett now joins the investigation.
We're going to put these backpacks through the X-ray because we're a bit concerned about the thickness and the weight of some of the padded panels.
And the X-ray immediately highlights an anomaly.
It looks pretty normal, but then you can see a darker shade, which is could be something concealed inside the lining. As you can see from this side image, it is darker.
There is a layer of unidentified organic matter in both bags.
So we've taken these 2 backpacks into the tool room to deconstruct it and see what we find in there.
In the examination room, one of the backpacks will be opened to try to locate the organic material seen on the X-ray. While the passenger has been read her rights and taken to a private interview room for questioning, where she insists the suitcase containing the bags is not hers.
She has a story about someone in London who has given her some things to pass on to someone else that's meeting her here. She says they're not hers. That's pretty much what everyone says.
This Korean man says he's here for a holiday, but Border Force officers are doing some basic checks to confirm if he's actually here to work.
On the phone, we found an Australian listed phone number, which we contacted, and the receiver was a building company in Australia. The employer confirmed that Mr. Hun had been working for her company.
Armed with the knowledge that he did in fact work on his last trip, Officer Alicia gives the passenger a chance to tell the truth.
I paid in my auntie's house, probably helped domestic work, but mostly I travel.
You travelled, okay, so where did you travel to?
비치, 본다이, 멜리.
Bondi Beach, Manly Beach, but mostly I rested at home.
So you came here for 3 months and most of the time you were just resting, is that correct?
네.
Yes.
The man refuses to admit to working, so Officer Alicia confronts him directly.
I'm going to be up front now. We've actually gone through your phone today. We found an Australian construction company, and the person in this company stated that you had worked for them.
건축회사세요?
I'm not sure which phone number you are referring to, but I haven't worked in any construction company.
Evidence on the man's phone continues to contradict his story, as officers now find something he simply can't deny.
And so both of these photos are after he arrived in Australia? That was okay.
At the Sydney International Mail Centre, biosecurity officers are working quickly to prevent the potential risk of infectious disease posed by a very unusual shipment from Japan. Australia Post has opened the items and the contents will now be inspected.
There we go. You can actually see, you can feel that there's moisture in there. Moisture is a concern because bacteria and other pests and diseases thrive on moisture. So you can see here now, it's actually an antler. At the moment, we can't see any animal parts, blood, or meat or anything like that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's certainly moisture on it. You can see it's wet. So if there is moisture, there's a high possibility if there's any contaminants, it's surviving and it could spread out. So you can see here. Oh God, there's a head.
Border Force officers have serious concerns that this woman is carrying narcotics after 2 backpacks located inside one of her suitcases tested positive for cocaine. And an X-ray revealed a layer of unidentified organic matter concealed in the lining of both bags.
When I kept feeling inside, the lining and the layers inside the compartments, it was just different to other backpacks.
In the examination room, Officer Tim begins to deconstruct one of the backpacks, and almost immediately he finds a white powder hidden in the foam layers.
It's your normal sort of foam that you get in the back of a backpack, but inside the foam there's a sheet of white powder they put across through there.
A sample of the white powder is collected for testing, while outside, the suitcase that contained the backpacks, along with the empty laptop bag, are X-rayed to see if they too have concealments.
The main suitcase is cleared by the X-ray images. I still have doubts with the laptop bag. There's the darker shade to it. When you feel it, it's still that softness inside it.
The laptop bag has identical shading to the 2 backpacks, and it is taken to the examination room, where a narcotics indicator kit will identify the white powder. A pink and blue liquid will confirm a positive result.
Pink on top, blue on the bottom, it's positive for coke.
The investigation is stepped up, and the young woman is informed that the Australian Federal Police are on their way.
We've told her what we have located, how we've located it and where it is. She is very panicked at the moment, wondering how much trouble she's in, how much trouble she's going to be in, and wondering where things are going to go for her from here.
At the Sydney International Mail Centre, biosecurity officers are opening packages that appear to contain moist animal parts.
Oh God, there's a head. A head. By the looks of it, it looks like the entire animal was skinned, and this is the entire animal. So we got the head where John is holding.
I think we should spread this out on the floor, have a look.
Yeah, the moisture is the concern here because the water would be the reason why the diseases or the bacteria will be surviving in a commodity like this. You can see how water is dripping straight out of this one.
I hope it's water. Anyway, and there's the hoof.
So we're assuming that antler is connected to this animal.
The animal hide belongs to an adult deer, and the dripping wet skin is a serious concern. But the risk increases as Officer John finds another major biosecurity threat.
We can see the buds of the ears, the cartilage of the ear here.
That poses another risk because a commodity like this should be free of any flesh.
A second parcel sent from the same hunter in Japan is now open.
There's 2 in there. Been cleaned pretty well.
Yeah, the antlers are fine.
They're fine. These antlers are fine. They don't need... It's more the skins.
The skins are, yeah.
But a third parcel tragically completes the family with yet another wringing wet, full-bodied deer hide.
This looks like a baby.
Yeah, smaller one.
Yeah, it's pretty wet.
Still dripping.
Because the fresh animal parts carry a potentially deadly threat to biosecurity, action will now be taken to eliminate the spread of any diseases.
The consignee will have the options of actually treating the commodity, which is at this moment looking like it's going to be gamma irradiation. And if they don't want to pay for treatment or re-export, it's going to be just destroyed to contain the risk not going out in the environment.
This Korean man denies working in Australia on his last holiday.
And so both of these photos are after he arrived in Australia. That was okay. And he's obviously in construction clothes as well with a hard hat.
But his phone tells a different story.
The other thing that we did find in your phone are photos of you on a construction site in construction clothes. The date of these photos taken is when you were in Australia last. It's clear that this is an Australian number plate, and the background is all Australian native trees and so forth. So now I'm going to ask you again, were you working whilst you were here last time in Australia?
땡도 맞는 것 같은데, 예. 네네.
Well, I didn't mean to lie to you. I didn't intend to work a long period, but just I worked around 1 week. Around 1 week, yes.
실수했는 것 같네. 거짓말 하려고 하는 거 아닌데.
I admit that I lied, but I didn't mean to lie.
All right, the point is that you did lie on numerous occasions. So what has happened now is that you've actually breached the conditions of your visa by working.
With his lies exposed, this passenger is now in serious danger of being refused entry into Australia. Having been caught in a lie, this Korean construction worker is now trying to explain why he didn't tell the truth when he said he did not work on his last Australian holiday.
I didn't tell the truth because I was scared and nervous as well. And I made a mistake and I apologize for that.
Can I actually ask you why you worked, why you needed to work?
이러고 이렇게 왔습니다.
I had a personal problem. I divorced recently, and I just wanted to rest my heart just a little bit. So I ended up, starting working, and I want to continue to stay here and study and work.
Although he'd like to continue to work in Australia, he has arrived on a tourist visa with a history of non-compliance, making it very difficult for Border Force to allow him into the country.
Okay, Mr. Han, I've taken everything into consideration today and I've made a decision to cancel your visa. So your visa has now been cancelled. You'll also be removed from Australia as an unlawful non-citizen. At the end of the day, if you've got specific visa conditions that say you can't work, then you can't work.
Australian Federal Police have been called to Sydney Airport after this young woman has been found with what Border Force officers believe is a concealment of narcotics located in a number of bags she is carrying. A sample of the white powder concealed in one of the backpacks undergoes secondary testing, which confirms that it is an illegal substance.
Again, we've got another reading for cocaine hydrochloride.
The two backpacks, along with the laptop bag, will now be seized. And while the distressed passenger maintains that she was carrying it for a friend, officers have made another alarming discovery.
The suitcase that all these items have been placed in has itself been previously tampered with. There's indicators that it has either been used as a concealment for narcotics before or is intended to be used for one. There are some nuts and bolts that are holding it together that isn't in the manufacturer design. Telltale signs.
The suitcase is also seized as evidence and the young woman is taken into police custody. She will be charged with importing narcotics into Australia.
Have you been here before?
No, never.
Have you got friends or family here?
No.
Okay, so first time here by yourself. What sort of plans do you have?
Just check around. I don't really like make a plan.
You don't have any plans?
I don't really like just go hotel and then I think I will find a plan. Yeah, I think it's easy.
The passenger we got today has arrived from Hong Kong. She's a Taiwanese national. She's 23 years old. She's here on a tourist visa, but she was unable to answer some basic questions. That's of concern to us today because we can't establish why she's travelled to Australia.
Her incoming passenger card states she is here for 1 month, but she doesn't have evidence of a return flight or an itinerary.
I find it very strange that you don't have any plans for Melbourne and you don't have a hotel.
I really don't have a plan.
I mean, if I went to Taiwan, I would have a hotel. I would have a list of things that I want to do. So it's very strange that you come here.
Really?
And it is. We search a lot of people every single day. Everyone has their hotel booking. They have.
I will think about this.
And there is another red flag.
How much cash are you carrying on you?
Not much. I don't carry much cash.
Okay.
Everything about this passenger is indicating she is not here as a genuine tourist.
Oh, for lost weight.
Weight loss pills?
Yeah.
But her lack of planning may only be the beginning of her troubles.
All of this as well?
Yeah.
Weight loss pills.
So how many do you take a day?
Very busy? You've been overseas for 3 days.
I'm a businessman.
Okay, and I have a job to do. So the more we cooperate, the quicker this will happen, okay?
The man appears agitated as Officer Alicia prepares to carry out a full baggage search. And she is wondering if it is because he has something to hide.
He's a little bit short, a little bit inconvenienced, a little bit unhappy to be searched, and he's in a hurry because he runs his own business. What business do you do?
Self-employed. I'm a distributor.
You have a business card at all?
Nah, I didn't bring my wallet, I only bring my credit card.
Just that one card. Lucky you didn't lose it.
That's what I bring.
Been
I
in trouble?
don't want to bring it all and then I lose it and then it's always headache.
Yeah. It's all right, can you
He
unlock
has
it?
very few personal belongings in his luggage, but the passenger says he travelled to Vietnam for a family wedding.
Did you pay for your ticket yourself?
Yes.
Cash or credit card?
Credit card.
Anyone else from your family go over for the wedding?
No, just myself.
Photos on his phone indicate the wedding is legitimate, but Officer Alicia has some lingering doubts.
Why such a short trip at such expense? If you're going all that way and you know you've got to go, you would go for longer. Whereas he seems to have just gone, attended a wedding and left straight away, which raises a few concerns.
Officers need to be sure the man is not attempting to bring anything illegal back into the country.
When are you planning to go back to Vietnam again?
Not for a little while.
Yeah? Something's leaked.
Paint.
He has an unusual assortment of luggage.
What is that?
Oh, that is kumquat.
But a plastic container catches Officer Alicia's attention.
It's powder, cleaning powder.
The lid appears to have been tampered with and needs closer inspection.
You want to get a swab?
It's been opened and it's been taped back up.
Yep.
contents of the container will be tested, but alarm bells start ringing when the passenger says it's not his.
Did you steal that?
My father-in-law, I think he opened it to see if it arrived stuff in there.
We've got a Chinese passenger who's not declared anything on her card here. There's some organic materials in her bag.
All right.
Officer Gale will now conduct a thorough search.
Did you pack your bags yourself?
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? You do?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to declare?
No.
You don't?
No.
Okay, open up the bags.
A suspect and undeclared food
Okay.
item is immediately
This one
found.
here, this one, number 7, seeds. You should have put yes. You understand?
And it's not the only item of concern.
What else you got here? You did not declare your food. Why not? Excuse me, why did you not declare? Huh? No, don't open, don't open, don't open. It's all right.
Passenger now comes up with an extraordinary response to being caught with undeclared items. She seems determined to eat all the evidence.
Hey, she's eating it.
So how many do you take a day?
I don't know. I don't count.
You don't count, you
I
just
don't
swallow?
count. Yeah, I just...
Okay, where did you purchase these?
You mean where I buy this?
Where did you buy them?
Oh, Taiwan. It's a shop for like a sell many things.
You don't have a receipt from store when you purchase?
No, because I was in Taiwan. I think I will not bring receipt come to Australia.
And this one, where did you purchase this one?
I think it's same.
Same place?
Same place.
We're going to do test on these.
In the examination room, testing begins to determine exactly what the passenger is attempting to carry across the border. Using First Defender laser technology, officers are testing each pill to determine if they contain any illegal substances.
She said she just bought them from a store that sells all sorts of medicine. She didn't have the packaging with her. She threw out the receipt. A lot of misinformation she doesn't have.
Passenger didn't bring the receipt for the pills. But back at the bench, officers have located a different receipt from her recent trip to Canada, which is causing some concern.
This Western Union money transfer receipt, what was that for? Why did they pay you money?
Oh, because I'm working, do some modeling job.
The receipt shows a $7,000 payment for a photo shoot.
So $7,000 is a fair amount. What's that for? What's the $7,000 for?
Oh, will be more expensive because naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why so expensive.
And is it like a company that does it, or?
He just, I think he's in a company. He just wrote by himself.
He works by himself. Where does he live?
Oh, Canada.
He lives in Canada. Okay. So he's not here in Australia? Okay.
If she worked while in Canada 4 months ago, officers suspect the woman may intend to do the same in Australia, which would be a serious breach of her tourist visa conditions.
Was it for one photo shoot or many photo shoots?
Many.
Meanwhile, back in the examination room, each pill has been tested.
Okay, there's no match found in the library for this one.
And the results are conclusive.
They all returned negative results.
Diet pills get the all clear, but the passenger does not.
Previously, she travelled to Canada. She was there for a month and she was paid $7,000 for a modelling shoot. So at this point in time, we're still not satisfied as to why she's entering Australia today. So we're going to make a referral to border entry so they can make a reassessment of her visa.
Further questioning will determine if this woman will be allowed to enter Australia. But she seems to be feeling positive about the outcome for now.
I think that she's believing that she's going to lose all of it, and she's having a bit of everything at the moment. Ma'am, you're going to keep these. Excuse me. This one and these you can keep. You don't have to eat them now. You can take them with you.
Her food items are not actually a biosecurity risk, so she will be able to bring them into Australia. However, she's now ignoring Officer Gale and has become determined to eat all her food right here and right now.
I'm getting the evil eye. Ma'am, you can keep this.
So far, the search has only uncovered food that is allowed into the country. But that's about to change with a very concerning find.
These are Chinese dates, and these are not allowed in because, I'll show you, it has the seed inside. So that's why you must declare. You don't know what's allowed and what's not allowed, okay? But these ones, not allowed. These ones over here, no, this one you can't keep. No. Yeah.
Chinese dates are a weed and contain a viable seed, making them a threat to the Australian environment.
You should have put yes here for them. That's wrong.
Officer Gale now weighs the quantity of undeclared items, but the hungry passenger isn't going to let her dates go without a fight.
No.
A decision must now be made as the woman faces the possibility of a considerable fine.
It makes it difficult to make a decision when the lady understands what I'm saying but is not talking back to me.
This passenger has made a quick 3-day trip to Vietnam, and Border Force officers are concerned he may be attempting to bring an illegal substance into the country after locating a container which he claims is cleaning powder.
He says his father-in-law has given it to him. He doesn't seem to go into any more specifics about why he would bother to bring that back from Vietnam. Some of them bring back the local produce and products because it's cheap, but this is not made there.
The container and its contents will be closely inspected.
Is there a washing powder smell?
Yeah, well, he says it's an all-purpose cleaner. You can see that it's a white powder, but there's no real strong scent coming from it. It kind of makes you wonder what's actually there.
A swab test will indicate if there are any traces of illegal substances, and Officer Alicia wants some more details.
Were you with him when he bought it? Or?
No.
No, and he just asked you to give it. Is it for you?
Yeah,
Or does he hasn't asked you to give it to someone?
No, it's for home use, for my wife.
All right.
My wife, she asked me to buy certain crazy things.
But the swab test results indicate this passenger's wife may get more than a sparkle out of this cleaning powder.
One being heroin, one being GHB, and another one being something else. So we're just going to do a test on it.
The contents of the container will have to undergo further testing, while another box belonging to the passenger is opened and reveals bottles of honey, which is a prohibited import.
Honey's not uncommon.
But that's not all.
There's just water?
Yeah, it's water. They're frozen and I can give it keep it for her to drink.
For your wife?
She like it, I know.
So literally you bought water?
That's what I'm saying.
Frozen water? Right. Did you see them fill all these up? Yeah?
Yes.
Drug syndicates are known to use sophisticated methods to suspend illegal substances in liquid. So a thorough examination will be carried out. The white powder will now be tested using laser technology to give a clear indication if there are any narcotics present.
She it's the first time.
Yes.
First time come here.
Yes.
So she can't know the room, Australian room.
After careful consideration, the woman is given an official warning rather than a fine, and she's informed of the regulations as well as the serious risk that is posed from her non-declaration.
Yes. And I am going to give her some information written in this language for her to take.
While she's now free to cross the border, the woman struggles to accept that her favourite snacks won't be going with her.
No, you can't take it. No. No, you can't take it. Thank you.
Having learnt an important lesson, she finally, but reluctantly, lets them go.
It is serious, and we are trying to stop pests and diseases from coming into Australia. Our main objective is to make sure that the people are compliant next time.
You mentioned earlier that you have a return ticket, and you mentioned that you have your return ticket in your telephone. Can you please provide me with evidence of your return ticket?
Officers need proof that she can support herself during her time in Australia and that she intends to go home.
Is everything okay?
But after many minutes of searching, she is unable to produce the ticket.
No? Can you show me evidence from your bank, like a bank statement?
I don't know how to show. How to show?
Not convinced this woman is a genuine tourist, Officer Robert takes the next step.
So based on all the information that you have provided today, I believe there is possible grounds for cancelling your visa today. You have no booked accommodation. You do not have any tourist plans or any...
A notice is issued and the passenger has one final chance to argue her case.
In Australia. Do you wish to make any comments?
What I can say? Like, you guys just don't believe me. What I can say? Even I say anything, you will not believe. I just don't like make a plan.
I'll be back in a moment.
She now faces an anxious wait as a final decision is made.
The bottles of water are a bit unusual. He says his wife has made him bring them back. It's very strange.
In the examination room, a sample of the powder has been further tested to determine if it is narcotics. And the result is good news for the passenger.
It was positive for sodium carbonate, which is just like bicarb soda. It's fine to go, it's free.
He's not carrying narcotics, and the frozen water has also been inspected.
Water? Water. It's water.
The relieved passenger can now go home, but his wife will be missing one item.
Quarantine will take the honey because it's not commercially packaged. The water he can keep, but his wife's made him pay lots of excess luggage, so he could bring back the box of honey, which he can't have. He can have the water.
After weighing up all of the information available to me, I am satisfied that the grounds for cancelling your visa outweigh the reason not to cancel your visa, okay? So as your visa has been cancelled, you now have been detained as an unlawful non-citizen. So I just need you to...
I cannot really.
Okay, so I just need your signature just to confirm.
No, that's ridiculous.
Okay, that's up to you. Okay, whether you choose or not, your visa has already been cancelled.
I don't think that's fair. Only you guys say to me, blah, 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 that's so shit.
Okay, just settle down.
And just cancel my visa, what the fuck?
Just settle down.
I do nothing wrong, I didn't bring the drug. Even you call police, you can tell me what.
I didn't say you brought drugs.
Yeah, like why I have to plan to everything and you don't have anything to prove I'm here for work.
I'll be back in a moment.
My phone, my credit card.
She is clearly not happy with regards to the fact that her visa was cancelled. Based on the findings, based on the regulations, based on the visa, I cancelled it.
Their travel pattern doesn't match what we typically see in a tourist from Malaysia. One of them, it's his first trip out of Malaysia. He's just got his passport issued and his knowledge of Australia is fairly vague.
They claim to be best mates, but they don't know anything about each other. And that makes officers suspect they may be hiding something.
I did invite my wife home.
You invited his wife as well?
What about the child?
So she said she's pregnant, cannot come. She said enjoy with me.
What about the child? Did you invite the child too? Doesn't he have a child as well? Child plus...
Pregnant.
But he has a baby. You have a child.
How old is your baby? How old is your baby?
2 years old.
Okay.
So you know a lot about him, don't you?
Me? My school bag.
Give me your bag.
A full baggage search will be carried out as further questioning casts even more doubt on their story.
They're claiming they've known each other since grade 1, but one's unable to tell us the other one's wife's name. They're sort of missing out on some of the basics that we'd expect them to know about each other.
A swab is now taken from the lining of their suitcase to check for any traces of illicit substances. And the result puts everyone on high alert. All passengers arriving on our shores are required to declare any items that may pose a biosecurity threat, but many fail to do so.
See how that one's there?
And today in Sydney, the X-ray image of a passenger's baggage is causing some alarm.
There's a gentleman coming from Vietnam today. His profession is a kitchen hand, and his items that he's carrying today have got a lot of organic matter. We're going to have a closer look at that.
First, biosecurity officers must confirm if the man's declaration is correct, as he has ticked no to every item.
Okay, did you pack all of these yourself?
Yeah.
So you know what's inside?
Yeah, I know everything inside.
All right, I'm going to open this one.
As the search for any food begins, the man tells Officer Jeanette that he has lived in Australia for the last 4 years.
So where do you work?
Bondi Beach.
Bondi Beach.
Yes.
And what do you do?
Kitchen hand.
Kitchen hand?
Yes.
Okay. What is this one?
Food.
What's inside?
Seafood.
Seafood?
Yes.
Is this for the restaurant at Bondi?
No.
Who's this for?
For my friend, and I eat.
Okay, what's inside? What is that?
I think squid.
He claims it's seafood, but Officer Jeanette disagrees.
Okay, this is not squids.
It's a major problem, as this man has failed to declare a serious threat to Australia's biosecurity. The illegal wildlife trade is a global business, second only to drugs and human trafficking in scope and value, and live animals are the most lucrative. Unfortunately, the covert transport of these animals is extremely inhumane, and many don't reach their destination alive. Today, Border Force officers at the Sydney Mail Centre have been alerted to the contents of 2 boxes being exported to Sweden.
Whoa, that's pretty interesting.
Looks like an animal.
Yeah.
They're declared as company records and book. It's clearly not paperwork.
Looks like a lizard with a stumpy tail.
You can see their ribs or their vertebrae on their backs there.
Yep.
So it looks like there's maybe 4 there.
Yeah.
4, maybe 5 in that one.
Yeah.
They could be alive.
Yeah, let's hope they're alive.
Illegally exporting reptiles through the post is a popular choice for traffickers, as they are quiet and therefore difficult to detect. And as the box is opened, breathing holes in the container indicate to officers that whatever is inside is supposed to be alive.
All right, so we'll just open this. Yeah, it looks like they're all in bags. They're cable tied, so sealed shut.
But there is no movement inside the bags, and officers fear they may be too late.
We'll just open this.
Careful.
At the Sydney Mail Centre, Border Force officers have intercepted 2 boxes being exported to Sweden. They are labelled as paperwork, but an X-ray revealed they actually contain what appears to be lizards.
Yeah, they're cable tied, so sealed shut.
There is no movement from the bags, and officers suspect they may not have survived their cramped conditions. But finally, there are signs of life.
Oh.
There's a couple moving around here,
Yeah.
so...
Well, that's good. They're
Yes, we
still
know they're alive.
Yeah, definitely. Great.
Be careful he doesn't bite you on the way out.
Shingleback. It's actually a really stunning lizard, an Aussie native.
Australia bans the export of all of our native animals for commercial trade, but due to their uniqueness, shingleback lizards fetch a high price on the black market, and there is little thought for the animal being sold.
They transported them with no food or water. They just
Yeah.
had them in a box. No thought for the welfare of the animal.
No, definitely not.
The second box is also opened and inspected, and thankfully all 9 of the shingleback lizards are alive, as Officer Justin from the Border Force Special Investigations Unit arrives to take over.
Beautiful, aren't they?
Yeah, really pretty lizards.
Their colour indicates they are goldfield shinglebacks, mainly found in Western Australia, and Officer Justin finds a small clue to indicate they have been taken from the bush.
So I can see 2 ticks in the ear there, so it's a good chance of being wild caught.
As part of the ongoing investigation, the boxes will now be taken for fingerprinting in the hope of catching the perpetrator. While the shinglebacks are taken to be examined, there is still grave concern they may not survive the trauma from their ordeal. This Bondi Beach kitchen hand is returning home from a trip to Vietnam with bags full of undeclared organic material, and biosecurity officers have discovered restricted banana leaves with something inside that the passenger claims is squid.
Okay. Then. Okay, this is not squid. This smells like pork. It smells like pork.
The food item appears to be home-cooked and could harbour serious pests and diseases. But this find is not the last of it.
It's fresh fruit. Is this fresh and frozen?
It's cooked.
It's already cooked?
Yeah, already cooked.
Okay, it's still got the food in it.
Hey, what have we got in here?
Seafood.
Seafood.
Another box is full of packages labelled clearly as seafood, but when inspected, they contain yet another high-risk item.
It's clearly shredded chicken. Chicken has the potential of bringing disease. It's just not a risk to take.
This is the man's 3rd trip to Vietnam in the last 4 years, so there is no excuse for not declaring the huge amount of restricted food he's carrying.
He's going to be in a bit of hot water today, this kitchen hand.
And as the food piles up, Officer Jeanette has another concern.
I do suspect that food may be bound for a restaurant in Bondi.
Border Force officers have concerns over these 2 men after a swab taken from their suitcase has returned a positive result for an illicit substance.
Ephedrine is used to manufacture methamphetamine. We're getting quite a lot of it coming out of Malaysia at the moment, so that's a huge risk indicator for us.
The suitcase is taken to be x-rayed, and Officer Val has some further questions for the passengers.
Do you take drugs? You?
No, I don't take.
Huh?
I don't take drugs.
You don't take, never taken drugs before? Your suitcase say drugs.
I didn't put drugs.
You didn't put drugs, but you've used drugs.
I used drugs? No drugs.
After close examination, officers are now satisfied there are no concealments in the suitcase. But as a second swab test returns another positive result for ephedrine, their investigation is not over.
I'm not convinced of their story, and we're getting high iron scan readings, so I believe they've been in contact with a drug at some point.
Officers continue to question the 2 men, and they are surprised when one of them says he barely ate on the flight from Kuala Lumpur.
So for 11 hours you eat nothing, just a coffee,
Bread.
1 bread roll. That's a long time to not eat.
Avoiding meals on a long flight can be an indication that a passenger is concealing a substance internally.
What did you eat on the plane on the way here?
Big meal?
Yeah, big meal.
Big meal?
No.
He not hungry?
He have eat big meal just now.
So someone is lying.
Despite claiming he has barely eaten for 12 hours, Officer Val notices that the man appears to have indigestion.
He keeps burping, this guy.
You swallow something? Swallow?
Swallow?
In your tummy?
No.
You didn't swallow drugs?
No.
You need to tell the truth.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
We've noticed with the passenger that's more nervous that he is burping quite a lot. That for us is a risk indicator in terms of possibly concealing narcotics internally.
Biosecurity officers have located a huge amount of home-cooked, high-risk food in the luggage of this kitchen hand returning from Vietnam.
We're going to call this the unidentified meat product today. It has a strong smell of poultry of some description, so we're going to be seizing that today. The fruit, it doesn't meet the requirements to come into the country. And also we have got some seafood packaging, but the passenger definitely identified it as chicken. Again, labelled as seafood. Passenger has clearly told us it's beef. Has a very strong smell of beef as well. This looks like a shopping list. Could go straight out to where he works. It's hard to say. It could be for personal consumption. Either way, it's not permitted to come in under biosecurity risk.
But it's not just his home-cooked food that will be confiscated. There are bought items such as this Chinese mooncake.
When we open that up, we can see that it actually has pork meat inside. Now, pork meat can be a carrier of a host of exotic disease, including foot and mouth and bovine disease. So something as simple as that could actually devastate our pork industry.
The large amount of food will be weighed.
It's almost bordering 16 kilos.
And this passenger will not be getting off lightly.
You will have a fine of $360 today. Do you understand?
The fine is issued, but as he is a regular traveller, Officer Jeanette wants some answers.
Why did you say no on your cards? Why did you say no? If you don't answer my question, you are liable for an additional penalty of $360. Why did you say no on that card?
After intercepting 9 shingleback lizards illegally packed in boxes to be exported to Sweden, the Border Force Special Investigations Unit have transported them to Taronga Zoo Hospital, where the vet will examine them and determine if they will survive their ordeal.
Most of them are in fairly poor body condition. Their tail is very, very narrow, and they usually store a lot of fat in their tail. So far all of them have been thin. One was particularly thin. Every time we receive these confiscated animals, it's gut-wrenching. But I think probably the saddest and most tragic part of the illegal wildlife trade is the cruelty and the impact on the welfare of these animals. These animals might not have had access to food or water for days or even a couple of weeks.
Removing animals from their natural habitat for commercial gain is not only cruel, it can have far-reaching consequences.
And certainly when we start seeing our animals from Australia being collected illegally from the wild and exported overseas, it's a significant threat to the survival of many of these species.
This threat is even greater for shinglebacks, as they are monogamous.
Being a monogamous species, they pair for life, and obviously if one individual is removed, its partner, well, it loses a partner.
Luckily, these 9 lizards were found before they left Australia. So, with a little TLC, their future looks good.
What are their chances of survival?
Oh, good, I'd say. Now if they get good food and water and everything, very good.
Following 2 positive swab results for ephedrine, officers need to be sure that these 2 men are not trying to smuggle any illicit substances into the country.
We've noticed with the passenger that's more nervous that he is burping quite a lot. That for us is a risk indicator in terms of possibly concealing narcotics internally. Also, speaking to him, he's only eaten a minimum amount of food in the last 24 hours, so that's a risk for us. And this side, okay?
Both men are asked for their consent to undertake a frisk search to check for any concealment that may be on their body.
I hate drug dealer or something. I'm not interested in drug.
What's he saying?
I said, is there anything you have to tell us? And he said, I hate drugs, I hate drugs.
Yeah, well, what are you doing in Australia?
No, you just traveling only. Yeah, traveling only.
All right, come this way.
The men consent to the frisk in a private room, but before it begins, one of them makes a surprising admission.
What is it?
Yeah.
Why you got 2 pairs of pants on? Why?
5.
He's got 2 pairs of pants on.
Okay. Do you consent for the search to go ahead? Is this okay?
It's yet another risk indicator for this passenger.
We've seen passengers that do have concealments wearing multiple layers of clothing as a way of trying to hide any bulges.
Following multiple positive readings for ephedrine, these 2 Malaysian men are being frisked, but officers have a reason to be concerned about one in particular.
He's actually wearing 2 pairs of pants. That may be consistent with someone trying to conceal something around their legs.
As an added precaution, a swab is taken from the men's shoes to see if they also carry traces of ephedrine. The result is negative, and so is the frisk search of this man. His travelling companion was found to be wearing jeans under his pants, but there were no concealments.
The frisk has come back negative. I'm confident there's nothing on their body, but I still have concerns. So the next stage, we're going to go to a body scan, which is a non-medical X-ray, to see if there's anything inside their body.
Once inside the room, the passengers undergo an X-ray, which will give a clear indication if either of them have pellets in their stomach.
We've now got the body scan results and they've come back negative. There's nothing obvious inside them, so at this stage, I think we can confidently rule out narcotics and we'll be releasing them today.
With the extensive search now complete, officers are satisfied that these 2 men are not carrying anything illegal into Australia today.
But now I'm happy because he let me go. They let me go.
This Bondi Beach kitchen hand is in hot water. He has already received a $360 penalty for failing to declare almost 16 kilograms of restricted food. But his fine may be about to double.
If he doesn't answer questions in regards to biosecurity matters, he can be fined a further $360. Why did you say no?
I think that all cooked on the day.
It's because you think it was all cooked and it was allowed?
Not fresh.
Okay, sir, I have to advise you that that's not what we ask you. We ask you if you are carrying those particular items, okay?
He has avoided the $720 fine, but hopefully he has learned a valuable lesson.
Because it's cooked, he didn't think he needed to declare it. Obviously, that's not the case. Cooked doesn't mean that it's okay.
Up you go. That's a boy. Louis is a narcotic detector dog. He's trained in all our sort of illicit substances. I've trained him right from the very start, and we've had success together, and it's pretty rewarding.
The detector dogs are picked up from here every morning for deployment, and today officers Dave and Silas, along with their canines, are headed to the Melbourne International Mail Centre.
There's different jobs at the post that we've got to do. There's a certain amount of mail trays that we've got to clear, parcels that we've got to clear. So that's our first job today.
At the mail centre, thousands of packages are processed every day, and that's where Louis comes in.
Come on. Yeah, let's go.
With their strong sense of smell and powerful retrieve drive, the dogs are a fast and efficient detection tool for officers.
For us to just be able to lay it down and then sort of rely solely on the dog to give us some kind of area to start searching and looking, it's pretty crucial.
Louis' first task is to check a load of mail from the United Kingdom, and he knows what he's here to do.
The mission today is to find some drugs. Hopefully, he's on his game today. That'd be nice if it is. Let's go, buddy. Up, find it.
Almost immediately, Louis sits, indicating there may be narcotics in one of the envelopes nearby.
Good boy, mates. Good boy. Ah, good boy, buddy. Good boy, mate.
He is rewarded for his efforts, and Officer Dave will now investigate further.
Very rarely does he give me a reaction like that that isn't a true reaction, so I'm pretty confident there's going to be narcotics in here. Yes! Oh, good boy!
In Sydney, a large family of 8 arriving from China claim they have nothing to declare. But officers suspect they may be lying when the X-ray of the first of their 15 bags appears to contain organic material.
Starting off with the first bag that went through, we're going to check that one.
And it's not just the first bag that presents a problem.
And the next one.
And that one.
Yep, and the next one, it's in the middle. And the next one. And the next one. And the next one.
And the one behind it.
And the one behind it. All of them. A lot of organic material, a lot.
With 15 huge bags between them, this family's false declaration has created a massive job for the biosecurity team.
All our officers will be hands-on with this inspection today, all of them.
But before searching their enormous collection of luggage, Officer Andrea wants to make sure the passengers completely understand their declaration cards, which are written in Chinese.
Everyone can understand Chinese and they speak Chinese.
Yeah.
And they sign their own cards. They signed?
Let me ask you.
They signed their cards?
你们自己填的吗？你们自己填的。
Okay, we're going to start opening all these bags, okay?
By signing the declaration card, each individual has confirmed they have nothing to declare. Yet amongst the luggage, officers immediately uncover a major biosecurity risk.
Oh, here we go, Jeanette. Here we go.
Border Force officers checking passports at the primary line have flagged this South Korean man who has arrived on a tourist visa. His documents indicate that he is a regular visitor to Australia, and officers want to know why. He claims he is here for a 15-day holiday, but officers have serious doubts after a routine bag search uncovers a huge amount of undeclared cigarettes.
It's unreasonable to believe that an individual would need such a large amount of cigarettes to consume for a short period of stay.
Over 60 cartons are counted, adding up to thousands of dollars in duty. But for now, they will be seized while the passenger is formally interviewed.
I need to ask you some questions.
Officer Ross wants to know why the man has travelled here on a tourist visa 9 times in the last 18 months, and sometimes staying for up to 3 months at a time.
In those 3-month periods, what did you do?
I play casino and drink and party and club and Gold Coast too.
Holidaying in Australia for so many months at a time doesn't come cheap. The man says he earns his money by managing his family's children's clothing company in South Korea.
What is your annual income?
100,000이에요?
Maybe around $100,000 in Australian dollars.
How much money do you have with you today?
현찰은 없고 카드에서 뽑을 수 있는 게
I don't have cash on me, but I think I can withdraw money from my card, about $10,000.
He then produces 2 credit cards, but close inspection reveals a problem, as the cards are not his. And Officer Ross is sure this man is up to something. He just needs to work out what it is.
Between those periods, you stayed 12 days, and then you left.
Australian Border Force officers have some serious doubts over the sole reason for this South Korean man's previous 9 visits during the past 18 months, and he says it's all been for holidays.
The purpose was went traveling and went to casinos and also went to karaoke rooms.
He has arrived with 60 cartons of undeclared cigarettes and 2 credit cards which are not his.
Where is your name on the card?
와이프 카드랑 저희 아빠 카드랑
My father's card and my wife's card. So before I use it, I must make a phone call and then I use it.
The interview is immediately suspended and the Australian Federal Police are contacted.
He was banging on about going to a money shop and getting money, but using other people's cards.
It is possible that the credit cards are stolen and the AFP arrived to speak to the passenger.
So these credit cards I'm going to take and I'm going to destroy. Why? Because they're not yours.
Both cards are seized and Border Force must now determine if this man will be allowed to enter the country.
Without any money, it's not looking good.
Narcotics detective dog Louis has shown a strong interest in some envelopes sent from the UK, and he's rewarded by Officer Dave for his efforts.
Hey! Good boy, mate.
The male, identified by Louis, is taken to the deconstruction room, where two particular envelopes require a closer look. The first appears to contain very little, but is heavily taped, which raises suspicion.
Cardboard there. It's a bit strange.
As they carefully cut through yet another layer, they find a heat-sealed bag inside.
Heat seal is supposed to hide the odour, but we just saw it with Louis then. He's all over it. Our dogs have got very strong noses, a lot stronger than humans, so he's done well.
Inside the heat-sealed bag, officers find a concealment of what they suspect is narcotics.
You can see that white sort of powder.
Fellow Officer Michelle is called over to carry out testing on the contents.
And there's our crystal white powder.
First Defender laser technology will identify exactly what the substance is.
And it's come up as ketamine.
Ketamine is used by medical practitioners as a general anaesthetic and in the wrong hands can be deadly. It's an illegal import into Australia.
I'll crack this one open and have a look.
And it may not be the only illicit substance which Detective Dog Louis has picked up.
Looks like a powder.
A second envelope, also sent from the UK, reveals another heat-sealed bag containing a suspicious substance. Biosecurity officers are inspecting this family's luggage after X-rays showed it contains unidentified organic matter.
We have a family of about 7 travelling from China. They're all non-declarant. I've got all our officers helping with the inspection.
As the massive search begins, the first bag reveals a high-risk item.
Oh, here we go, Jeanette.
What's this one?
It's seafood.
Did you catch this yourself? Did you buy it from somewhere?
Yeah, buy.
And you put it inside the bottle?
Yeah.
It is fresh, so that's the problem today. You can't bring it in like that.
The seafood is the first of an astonishing amount of undeclared food.
What's this one? Is this meat?
This one like peanut.
Okay, like a sweet. Sweet, okay.
What is this one?
Oh, rice.
Right. Then we've got some meat here. What is this? Flour? Flour. We've got about 1 kilo of prawns. You know what that is? For tea.
While some of the food presents no concern, others are an extreme biosecurity risk.
Oh, look at this, Susan. It's got like borer infestation through it, and there's some green leaves material through that. Oh, look at that. Fungus.
Borer and fungus infestations make these items a danger to the Australian environment.
These ones are out too, guys. Red mushroom. They're pinky red colour. These ones are out.
As officers continue the monumental search, the sheer volume of undeclared food items suggests it's not all for personal use.
So taking those. You know, all these foods you've brought in, this is commercial quantity. This is a lot of food to be brought in.
Just when they think they've seen the worst of it, Officer Andrea is shocked to find yet another high-risk item.
What is this?
For that.
collection of undeclared high-risk items has been found in this family's luggage, and the nasty surprises are still coming.
Oh, here we go.
It's yet another potential threat to Australian agricultural industries. But when Officer Jeanette asks why the woman has brought unidentified plant cuttings from China, she receives a less than convincing answer.
For cleaning? Yeah. Like a broom? Yeah. No, this is... I don't believe that you're using this for a broom. It's too thick for a broom. What is it for? What are you going to use it for? For broom. I don't believe this is for a broom. It's too thick. This is something you need to declare. This is not allowed. It is a problem. I just got a seed out of that. If there's seeds inside there, that's a problem because that can grow and that is likely to harbour exotic pest or disease. This is a problem and you can't bring it in, okay?
Whatever the intended use, this homemade broom is another high-risk item. And for officers, it's not the only potential brush with disease.
Cover your mouth, please, when you cough.
While the undeclared food keeps on coming.
All the way down his seafood noodles, yeah?
So much food.
It's likely these passengers will be issued a substantial fine. And with such an enormous haul, they could be facing maximum penalties.
It's not looking very good for him. This is almost bordering on a prosecution.
Border Force officers at the Melbourne Mail Centre have located white powder in an envelope sent from the UK, and it has tested positive for ketamine. But now, a second suspicious envelope from the same batch also appears to contain narcotics.
See that?
Oh, this one appears as if it might have a few substances. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So we've got a white powder or crystal there and a brown crystal there.
Once deconstructed, it's clear the envelope contains 2 bags.
I'm just going to test the white powder first.
First offender gives another clear, positive result.
Ah, it's actually come up ketamine.
The second substance is suspected to be MDMA, otherwise known as ecstasy. A narcotics indicator kit is used for confirmation.
And now it should go to a blue colour, which indicates MDMA. And straight away, it's gone to MDMA.
It's been a successful day, and Officer Dave doesn't forget to thank Louis for all his hard work.
Yeah, good boy, mate.
Put a lot of work in our dogs and we trust our dogs. And to find something that you've trained the dog on from an early age, it's very rewarding.
This South Korean man is visiting Sydney for the 10th time in less than 2 years. He arrived today with 60 cartons of undeclared cigarettes which have been seized, and 2 illegal credit cards which he had planned to use have been handed over to the Australian Federal Police. Border Force officers are trying to work out what he is up to, and the passenger finally provides a clue.
Where did you stay in Sydney?
Star City.
Star City.
Yeah. So because very expensive in Star Hotel.
Yeah.
So I play game many times. So
he stays at Star City Casino on every visit, and Officer Ross suspects the real reason he's here is to gamble professionally.
If you stayed here for 3 months and say you paid $800 per week, that's $9,600 per stay.
Sometimes I win, so I have big money.
How much did you win?
100,000.
You have no money now.
Yeah.
You won 100,000. Where is it?
Sometimes I win 100, but because result, I lost money. I have no money.
I know you have no money.
So because go to Korea and come back here. Yeah. So no money, so go to Korea, come back.
With this admission, there is now sufficient evidence for Officer Ross to take the next step.
I'm going to serve you a notice to cancel your visa.
The man has a chance to respond to the notice, and he finally comes clean.
Compilation, because I lost money, a lot of money in Australia in Stasty. So
I know you've lost a lot of money.
1 million lost money.
Looks like this passenger's luck may have finally run out.
Hold short of Delta taxiway.
This family of Australian residents have arrived from China with an enormous amount of undeclared food, so they are now facing a potential fine or even prosecution.
It's unusual that these people live here and they've travelled before and they haven't declared anything of this quantity. It's probably too good for them today. These are prohibited items, okay? Even if you had said yes on the cards today, these items still would have been confiscated. So none of this was declared today, hence why you're getting fined today, and also all this is not permitted. It's $720 fine today.
But one member of the family is not willing to accept losing her favourite foods and appeals to an officer in an effort to reclaim them.
This one, can I give me all that?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
This one I said.
No. Who did you ask?
Can I help her? Police, this is my name.
No. This is not allowed. None of this, okay? Thank you. I just asked you please to stand over there. Thank you.
It is now clear to the woman that there can be no bargaining with biosecurity officers, and the family must pay $720 in fines.
All in all, we've seized approximately 45 kilos of prohibited items, taken out of roughly 15 large bags.
All right, you will need to sign here for me.
I personally fail to understand why people don't declare. It is a danger to our agricultural and horticultural industries. This inspection took us an hour of their time, plus they were fined for not declaring.
In addition to the 2 fines, hundreds of dollars worth of food has been confiscated, making it a very expensive lesson for the family, who will now enter the country with their bags a massive 45 kilograms lighter. This South Korean man is anxiously waiting to find out if he will be allowed to enter the country, as Officer Ross discusses his case with airport management.
Basically, the guy's a gambler. He's admitted that he's lost $1 million. He's got 2 credit cards in other people's names. One he claims is his father's, the other is his wife. So he's got zip money, nothing. In his bag, he had 60 cartons of cigarettes, and they've been seized under the Customs Act.
Believing the man intended to sell the cigarettes to fund his gambling, they will now be destroyed, while the passenger is informed of his fate.
We've done a money count. You do not have any money at all. You don't have the financial capability of supporting yourself for the next 15 days.
나가서 팔기만 해도 돈이 생긴다고요.
In my bag, I have a lot of stuff, sunglasses, shoes, some other expensive stuff. When I go out, I can sell them, and I will get money straight away.
It's a final desperate plea.
Mr. Lee, you cannot give me substantial reason why I should not cancel your visa. Therefore, I will inform you now, at this time, that I will cancel your visa, and I will send you back to Korea. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Yes.
This man has been pulled aside for a baggage inspection after making an extraordinary claim to Border Force officers.
This passenger hasn't filled out his incoming passenger card fully, so when he's been approached by an officer, they've had a chat to him. He's actually made admissions at the same time that he had a bunch of heroin on him, which is a very serious matter to Customs, and we need to investigate further.
But now the passenger is backpedaling on his statement.
I come from the Philippines and I just made a joke about having heroin in my bag. Like, just never been through the airport before.
Is this your only bag?
Yes.
Everything inside yours?
Yes.
The bag's yours?
Yes.
Whether a joke or not, we have to explore all leads fully. It's not a good idea to joke. We are definitely going to investigate that.
Do you have $10,000 or more in cash?
No, I got robbed before I come home. I don't even have identification except my passport.
No foreign currency?
I don't even have a phone. They took everything.
So what were the circumstances of that?
I picked up 2 girls.
Yep.
And they come back to my apartment in the Philippines. And then I woke up in the morning, my phone and my wallet was gone.
2 girls?
2, yeah, 2. But, I don't know, it's the Philippines. You only live once. I'm 27. Life.
This couple's luggage is being x-rayed by biosecurity officers.
I have a husband and wife returning from China. They're Australian residents. They've declared nothing on their incoming passenger card. However, all their bags and boxes indicate that there's more than just clothing inside. One of the x-ray images shows what appears to be a rice cooker, and there's objects inside that could be food products. So I'll get one of the officers to have a closer look and see what we find.
Before their luggage is thoroughly searched, the passengers are given a second chance to declare.
They've both said no to the questions that were put forward to them today. They've declared absolutely nothing.
And as soon as Officer Andrea inspects their rice cooker, she finds proof that they are lying.
It's fresh ginger. This was in a rice cooker. Clearly came up on our x-ray image. It's so fresh, it's still got soil and that attached to it. And it's actually rooting as well.
Fresh ginger is a restricted import because it can carry pests and diseases which could devastate Australian agriculture.
It's obviously they're trying to perhaps conceal it from us. I'm going to look at every other bag. Before I go on any further, I have to caution you that if you give me any false or misleading information, is a serious offence and you may be liable for a civil penalty. Do you understand? This is in Chinese.
Hold it.
Okay? I've asked you the questions, and when I asked you, did you have anything to declare, you said no. I'm going to look now through the rest of your bags. You've been cautioned.
The passengers refuse to simply fess up, so now biosecurity officers conduct a search to locate whatever it is they're trying to hide.
Oh, here we go.
Australian Border Force officers have pulled aside a passenger due to some suspicious behaviour.
We have a passenger today who's travelling from Bangkok. He drew our attention because he seemed a bit nervous, and when one of our officers spoke to him, he said that he'd only been away for 4 days, which is a very short trip.
The search of his baggage uncovers something that may explain his nervousness.
Is that you? Yeah, see? So why you have a different name in there?
I don't know.
The man is carrying an ID card with a different name to the one on his passport. Further investigation reveals it's just the tip of the iceberg.
We found a large number of driver's licences in the man's luggage. A person should only have a driver's licence in their own name. This man has multiple driver's licences in multiple names.
That is you, isn't it?
Yeah, they take me picture. They take me picture. He make it in Bangkok. Does he make him in Bangkok? I don't know why he make it.
The passenger claims he doesn't know the purpose of the IDs, even though they carry his image.
So if they took your picture, you must have been aware of this.
No.
You received it?
Yeah. That's why if I know, I can bring it. If I know it's bad.
And what was your intentions to do with them?
I don't know.
It's a bit hard to believe you, to be honest.
Yeah? Yeah, that's honest, I'm telling you. Okay. Yeah, that's honest. I'm not lying.
Fake IDs are a major concern.
The fact that he has so many and the fact that he's got them in different names would lead us to believe that he's intending to commit some sort of fraud with them.
Border Force officers now need to take this investigation to the next level to determine the passenger's intentions. This man returning from Thailand, has been caught with a stack of fraudulent IDs showing his image with various fake names.
And what was your intentions to do with them?
Officers now make an alarming find as they uncover more fake IDs. However, this batch shows the image of a second man.
How many does he have in total?
I don't know, it's maybe 100.
Is there more in the bag? That's it?
Yeah.
A search of immigration records reveals that the second man recently had his Australian student visa cancelled, raising the suspicion he may be planning to use the fake IDs to remain in the country unlawfully.
We can identify that there are multiple risks here, and we're obviously doing our best to eliminate those risks and make sure that his counterfeit driver's licenses don't fall into the wrong hands.
The passenger's mobile phone keeps ringing, providing officers with a clue that he may have an onshore accomplice assisting him in bringing in the counterfeit IDs.
Who is the person that keeps phoning you?
His name is Sammy.
Sammy.
Yeah.
And is he supposed to pick you up today?
He say me come by cab.
He'll see you come by cab. Where to?
To the city.
To the city?
Yeah.
Further questioning reveals that there may be another passenger travelling on a later flight who may also be carrying a batch of fraudulent identification cards.
Is someone else coming with more of these?
The one is this one.
The person who made them?
Yeah.
What is his name?
Abi.
Abi. Okay. So Abi will arrive today.
Yeah, that's he's making that one.
So he made them?
And he made these?
Yeah, that's him.
And you and Abi are supposed to go then to the casino and meet Sammy?
He's coming, I think, 2 o'clock, 2:30 something. Arrived here.
Border Force officers must now act quickly to ensure Abi is intercepted at the border.
With that intel, we can now motion an operation to identify that man and make sure that he's interdicted at the border tonight.
When I asked you, did you have anything to declare, you said no.
This couple arriving from China have been caught red-handed with high-risk food items, but continue to claim they have nothing more to declare.
Oh, here we go. I'm finding cigarettes as well. Ma'am, excuse me, no phone. No phone.
All excess tobacco must be declared before entering the country. And when his hundreds of hidden cigarettes are found, the man is clearly nervous.
Please don't touch the bag, okay? Don't touch the bag.
His behaviour indicates it's just the beginning, as a treasure trove of undeclared and restricted items is uncovered.
Here we go, red mushrooms, it's not permitted. The pink mushrooms. Oh, and they've got them in
cigarettes.
Oh, look at this. Seafood. It's not looking very good for him. Here we go, some more food.
Oh, what have I here?
What have we got? Oh, my Lord. What is this? You said no to everything we asked you. What is this? You said mayo. There's some more fresh ginger. It literally looks like they've just pulled it out of the ground. It's actually starting to sprout as well. Soil, which could have unknown plant pathogens.
Scallops. Thank you.
The massive haul is a clear indication of the couple's blatant disregard for Australia's biosecurity, and it gets worse with yet another incriminating find.
Oh my goodness.
This Australian man, returning from the Philippines, claims he was just joking when he told Border Force that he's carrying a quantity of heroin in his luggage. But for officers, anyone making such an alarming claim is considered a risk.
All right. You understand that the reason I'm doing this
is because of the metric ton of heroin.
It's because you said that.
I shouldn't have said that. That was very silly.
Yep.
But I've never done this before,
so... It means I've got to have a look in your bag now.
Yeah.
He also says that he's without his wallet because he was allegedly robbed by 2 Filipino women whom he invited back to his hotel room.
So what else did you lose? Your wallet?
My wallet and my phone. and my like driver's license, Medicare, all that stuff. I got to go there today.
What was in there that's broken?
A vodka bottle. I don't know why it was in there though, but it is.
There's a lot of glass in there.
That cost me 70 cents.
Not the bottle?
Yeah, the bottle. 70 cents. That's pretty good.
Because of the man's earlier claim to be in possession of heroin, officers want to know if the passenger is a drug user himself.
So while you were over there, did you actually take any drugs?
No, I don't take drugs anymore. I went over there to get clean, basically.
Okay.
I was an addict in Australia previously. So I went over there, 21 days, got clean, and now I'm back here.
Is that why you went over there?
Oh, my dad took come for a holiday, and I wanted to go to rehab, but I thought, what better rehab than another country?
Yeah,
absolutely. You know what I mean? Especially when everyone's getting shot over there for drugs at the moment, so it's not really a good idea to use drugs in a country that you get shot for.
Absolutely the wrong idea.
Yeah, so pretty good initiative to quit. A bullet or quit. I'd probably quit rather than take the bullet.
When was the last time you used drugs?
21 days ago.
Before you left here?
Yeah, the day before.
Really?
Yeah.
The man's admission to recent drug use raises the concern about what he may be carrying. And inconsistencies in his story are quickly exposed when Border Force locates something that is a big surprise to both officers and the passenger.
Oh my God!
All sort of alcohol.
Oh my goodness.
Guess what? What have we got?
Oh, interesting.
It's from today.
Duplicate cards.
These are all blank.
Officers have found a huge stash of declaration cards in this couple's bag, which could indicate a very deliberate plan to smuggle goods into the country.
They've got a lot of IPC cards in Chinese and English in their bags. They've got some pre-filled ones in with various dates on them. And there's really no reason for them to have multi-filled cards out. We'll be talking to our Border Force officers.
Australian Border Force officers will need to question the couple about the declaration cards and the undeclared cigarettes, but not before the man makes an obvious attempt to hide the evidence.
No. He's trying to sneak the cigarettes. No. You must. Do you have any in your pocket?
I'll just click your name for you.
I'm going to caution you again. I have to caution you again. Yeah. Please do not move or deal or interfere with goods in any way. If you fail to comply with this direction, you may be liable for another civil penalty.
Thank you.
He's saying thank you. I need to get Border Force here. He's trying to get the cigarettes.
Border Force has confirmed that a large quantity of IDs in this man's possession are fraudulent.
As I've been told by the document examiner, they're clearly fake, they're clearly counterfeit. He's confessed that he has been paid to do this, $10,000 to bring these cards into the country.
The passenger has told officers that there is another person who's also attempting to bring in counterfeit IDs, due to arrive in the country later today.
And it's RB that's still to arrive.
Still to arrive, yes, which will be on the TG tonight.
Maybe tonight or potentially tomorrow, he's saying.
Okay.
And it's very confusing to me because he said they were going to both go tonight and meet this guy at the casino. Now he's saying, well, the other guy may not come till tomorrow. So it's very vague.
Border Force require more information in order to intercept Darby, if he exists.
Do you have any other details?
No.
But the passenger can't provide it, so officers advise him that this will be referred to the AFP for further investigation.
So basically what's going to happen now is we're just going to wait for the federal police to arrive, and then we're just going to continue, okay?
With the news that the AFP have been called in, the man now appears unwell.
In total, we found 57 driver's licences in the man's possession. This will be an ongoing investigation because the passenger has implicated other people in the obtaining of these documents. We're going to hand the man over to the AFP and it'll be up to them now to decide what further action will be taken.
officers searching the luggage of this man who has just returned from the Philippines. He claims that his wallet was stolen by two women whom he spent a night with. But officers now make a surprising discovery.
My wallet is in there.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my God, yes.
His wallet is found, but he might still be left hanging.
High five, high five, high five.
So that's a good thing.
High five. No, I made a police report. They only stole my phone then.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's your licence.
Yes. My Medicare card, my key card. Yes. They only stole my phone. Thank God for that. Can I have that back now? Thank you so much. Yes. Maybe they didn't even steal my phone.
So what do you think's happened to your phone?
Might have dropped down behind the bed because it was under my pillow when I slept, but they were gone when I woke up and I couldn't find my wallet and I couldn't find my phone, so.
Australian Border Force officers' primary concern is the man's admission to recent drug use and whether he may be attempting to carry narcotics into the country.
Did you take anything with you?
No, nothing at all. Oh, my medication. But that's got my name on it.
And that's prescribed by a doctor?
That's prescribed by a doctor. Yeah, that's the box. Thank God the box is there.
Okay, so that's the...
And it's got my name
That's the box with your prescription on it. Okay, so that's...
That's another packet.
More pills?
Yep, more pills.
Same thing?
Same thing. That's the writing. It was eligible before the vodka.
The discovery of vodka-soaked packets of pills puts officers on high alert, and testing will now determine if they are any form of illicit drugs. Biosecurity officers have located a large haul of restricted items in the luggage of this couple, who must now pay the price.
You had every chance to answer my questions that were given to you. You said no, 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 so you will be issued an infringement notice of $360. Oh. Yes.
That's not the end of their problems, because a surprising stash of excess declaration cards, as well as extra cigarettes, has been found in their bags.
At the end of today, these passengers could be in actually a lot more trouble than what they originally thought, pending on the investigations from our Border Force. So this was in her bag, and this was in her bag, but they didn't present this one today, and they didn't present these two today. Also, these were all in their bag as well, so they've got some in Chinese, they've got some in English. They had cigarettes, cigarettes everywhere.
After further questioning the couple, Border Force officers caution them against any attempts to deceive Australian authorities regarding the contents of their luggage. The couple must pay the duty owing in order to keep their cigarettes.
In total, it's $646.11.
Next time, they need to declare the cigarette.
Okay.
The high-risk foods are safely disposed of, and the couple's intentional failure to declare has turned out to be a very expensive end to their trip.
As far as biosecurity today, I'm happy that we've captured the risk, and hopefully they've learned a lesson and not to do it again.
An array of pills found in this passenger's bag are being tested for illicit substances after he brought himself to officers' attention with what was a very poorly attempted joke in claiming he's in possession of heroin.
Oh, at least I learned my lesson.
I hope so.
Yeah. Just don't tell jokes about heroin.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, not a good idea, no.
But the questionable jokes keep coming.
I don't think that's my towel. Do you want that towel? Okay. That's from the girls. Bad joke. Bad joke again.
Bad jokes got you here.
Yeah, bad jokes got me here.
The passenger does have an explanation for his cheeky humour.
I drank a lot on the plane, so last day.
That's not a good thing to do on the plane either.
Oh no, the altitude.
Despite admitting to recent drug use and claiming to be carrying heroin, an exhaustive search has revealed nothing illegal in the man's luggage.
So all we're waiting for now is that tablet's being tested.
Okay.
So we're just waiting for the results of that to come back.
And testing confirms the tablets from his bag are legitimate prescription medication.
So we happy with the tablet or we still checking?
That's fine.
You can keep the tablet. Thank you.
And is now free to enter Australia. But when it comes to his important documents, he doesn't seem to have learned his lesson.
Take over that passport.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah.
We'll be reporting that missing as well.
All right,
All right, thanks, mate.